Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. Sleaze, we got a lot to talk about, and we got a freaking massive guest in the building for everyone. First, we got to give a big shout out to Sam Burns, who picked up his second PGA Tour win down at the Sanderson Farms. Unbelievable performance, 22 under par, second win in 5 months. Moves up to 18 in the world, possibly a superstar in the making.
Yeah, it's second win. Feels like it could have been his third or fourth. He's had a couple close runs up there. They put a stat up there on the broadcast yesterday. It's like, here's who's led the most after 54 holes. And it was Sam Burns, and every other name on there was just monstrous names. Like guys, Ryder Cuppers, major champions, all that sort of stuff. Trajectory looks pretty good. If you're buying stock in young guys right now, Sam Burns, along with Scotty Scheffler, only 1 month apart in age, by the way. Those two guys are looking good. His back nine yesterday, the way he hit that driver, just looked like he was hitting as hard as he can, zero let up, about 180, 181 mile an hour ball speed, just missiles. I mean, I think this kid, he was close to Ryder Cup this year. I mean, he was in the discussion. I think
he was first alternate, in my opinion.
He was in the discussion. And I mean, if you look at some of the guys that, I don't want to say snubbed, but just missed out, Billy Horschel, Max Homa, Sam Burns, all have won since the Ryder Cup already. Add that onto the guys we already got on the team. It's like, damn, that team's looking pretty good headed forward.
He was the co-favorite going in, and it's really cool. And when the favorite goes out there and does what he's supposed to, which was get the W, but a lot of young guys were there. We talk about how we love these fall events on the PGA Tour because you get to meet a lot of the young guys coming off the Korn Ferry Tour. These guys have a chance to change their life, change their career. And a few guys had a chance, but in the end, it was all Sam Burns.
Yeah, he was the one guy put the pedal down on the back nine. Other dudes hit the gala heading in there. A guy that I think is a great guy to bet on right now when you get in there because the betting markets don't know a whole lot about him, but he's loaded with talent. Hogan Award winner at Pepperdine. He finds himself in the lead heading into the back nine. Made one bogey the entire week, I believe, and then starts off with a couple sloppy bogeys to start the final nine, including that par 5 11th where he had 7-iron in his hand. His caddy wanted him on a 6. He wanted the 7, and he ends up going with the 7, hits it in the water, chips it up to 4 feet, still could have saved par, misses that, and I feel like it was just his head was probably spinning at that point. But that's what happens with most guys trying to win their first time on the PGA Tour. Most guys don't go out there and just close it the first time out.
But a lot of young guys. Cameron Young is another guy that got off to a great start in the 21-22 season. Huge for the reshuffle heading forward before these guys get to the West Coast. But like you said, Cameron Young, another guy, Wake Forest, just absolutely smashes it. Total in his career had just over $400,000 in earnings. Sunday made a little $623,000.
Nice when he can more than double up in a week.
But is it safe to make $623,000 as a young man before you head to Sin City, Las Vegas for the Shriners?
Ideal world, I think you take it on the way out. Say, I'm flying out, go ahead and direct deposit that tomorrow so I don't have a chance to do anything stupid. But $600 gives you a little bit of a dry powder to play with there in Sin City.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get to the Shriners in a little bit. But first, got to tell you, I had a rather special weekend, Sleaze. Jumped on the bird with my man Josh Isner, headed down to South Florida to Palm Beach, played a couple rounds of golf at a very exclusive place, 2 very exclusive places, but one that I'd never heard of, a place called the Everglades, which is like right downtown Palm Beach, right down the road from Mar-a-Lago and all these high-fluting places around there. It looks like it's literally right off Rodeo Boulevard. It's unbelievable. Little hidden gem back in there. 6,036 yards from all the way back.
Did you design it? Is that the first Colt Knost design? Guys, here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need par 5s be capped at about 480. I'm going to need the par 4s right around 4 bills, and then let's figure it out from there.
Seth Rayner design, but my God, if I was going to design one, this would be it. Just couldn't be more narrow.
10-yard wide fairways.
Water everywhere. So, I mean, you do have to hit some shots, but it was so much fun to play. Had a blast around the Everglades. They were so nice in letting us come out. And then, day 2, we went on over to Grove 23.
Never heard of it.
See from this little new shirt, I got all these Panthers everywhere.
You got the Panthers.
But we went over. One of the guys on the trip was a man they call Lurch, who is a part of the Foreplay podcast with our man Riggs, who we've talked about.
Tell me more.
Incredible situation I got to tell you about. So after golf, first off, we had lunch with Michael Jordan afterwards, which was a treat.
I'm familiar. Yeah, he asked for a picture. How obnoxious is that? Mike, I'm here to have a good time and play some golf, but
I was like, hey, bud, I need some drinks. I'm just going to charge him. What's your member number?
Is it 23?
Owner? Whatever.
Probably 23.
Probably a good point. But had a blast with MJ. Then we proceed to go over to Justin Thomas's house for a little Alabama football, among other games. And there was the likes of Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, and Bud Cauley.
Names for days. Love
Unbelievable. I mean, you go from MJ to that house to watch football. Well, as I said, the Lurch, who talks about golf for a living, Okay, we're there. Drinks are flowing. Everyone's having a good time. Football's on. We're gambling. Bama's rolling, so everyone's in a good mood in the Justin Thomas household. I'm walking by, and all of a sudden I hear Lurch and Bud Colley having a little talk together.
Meeting of the minds.
Meeting of the minds. And I proceed to hear Lurch say, "So, Bud, what do you do for a living?"
It's so good.
I literally stopped me in my tracks, and I just turned and I go, "What the hell did you just say?"
Go ahead and repeat that last question.
Yeah. And I hear Bud just so nicely go, "Oh, I play on tour." And I'm like, "Lurch, here's a guy who's one of maybe 13 guys, I think it is, that have earned their PGA Tour card with no status through sponsor exemptions. I mean, he's a Walker Cupper. He's been a fantastic player for many years. And you, who talk about golf for a living, just asked what Bud Colley does for a living."
Yeah, like Stephen A. Smith meeting an NBA player. They're like, plays. And he's like, "Hey, tell me again. What do you do?" "Well, Bud, I'm here with all golfers. I'm dressed like a golfer. Actually, believe it or not, I play a little golf. And also, you talk about golf for a living every day."
It was fantastic. It made me so happy. I immediately, later when we got back, I FaceTimed Riggs and had to tell him, and Riggs was mortified. He's like, "Dear God, this does not help. This does not help our brand
Hurts
very
the
much."
brand a bit.
Yeah.
I gotta call Bud about that because Bud's one of the only. I feel like he would just laugh that off and be like, think it's funny. And a lot of guys be like, "Are you serious, dude? I don't want to freaking PGA Tour." Not Bud. He probably got a good giggle out of that. But you got to come back. You've been out for a bit with injury. You got to come back. Lurch will then realize who you are quick.
Yes, but it was an
You actually
awesome
FaceTimed
trip.
me while you're down there. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember
was in the
a little
middle
bit
of
of
a
it.
vicious cockfight at the time too.
You had to get amongst advisor on.
Was it straight?
No, it was not straight.
How were my eyes? Good?
A little red.
I was on the final hole, like I said, of a vicious duel in the Arizona Country Club member guest. Shout out Bermuda Fest, AZCC, otherwise known as the Monster. Final hole, 2-point margin between my team, myself, and Kenny Coakley. Shout out Kenny Coakley from Colorado. We teamed up this week against Ricky Barnes and his partner, Adam Pritchett. And we were down 2. Stableford, par gets you 1, bird gets you 3. So it's like we're going to bird. We're going to win this thing in a chip-off, talking a lot. And that was right when you called me. And I was trying to get him all psyched out with the guy that was hitting the
Ricky
T-ball.
told me to call you
and
distract you.
Yeah, exactly. And long story short, they ended up making tweet. We made tweet. We ended up taking a tough L by 2 points. They are the Ricky Barnes, Adam Pritchett winners of the flight. But I did see, Colt, maybe the damnedest thing I've ever seen on a golf course this week. Par 3, the 4th hole, as you well know. From the tees, these guys were playing about 155 yards, lake left. There's a house directly to the right. It's you can hit it a mile right if you want to and chip it. Pretty short par 3. Well, the second hole comes around after we finish 1. Second tee box shares the tee box with the 4th, and there's a bar right there. There's a bit of a stack up. The hole before is a par 5, so everybody's there. I say everybody. There's like 10 or 12, guys around there having drinks. It's in the afternoon. This guy gets up. I'm saying hi to one of my buddies. He's playing in the group with the guy about to hit. I don't know the guy. He stands over the ball, so we all, we're laughing, having a good time, music's playing, but then we quiet down. While he's ready to hit, he gets up there. Couldn't have been, 155. I don't know what he was hitting. He might have been hitting a 7-iron or something. Stands over it, wiggles, waggles, looks back, ball, boom, impact, direct toe shank. The hardest toe shank you've ever seen before. This thing is borderline 90 degrees right. If there was a shot tracker, it just would have been a straight line on the ground going off the screen. Well, there's a house about 15 yards, as you know, right there, backyard, everything, beautiful little home. Smashes into the house. Good news is it did not hit a window, but this thing rips off the house, takes 1 bounce, headed backwards, 1 bounce, 2 bounce. On the 3rd bounce, there's a wall, that separates the property. Like the bottom foot or 2 is like concrete, and then there's the poles going up, so there's little gaps in between the poles. Scoots through a gap in the 2 poles and pops back out onto grass probably 20 yards behind where he was. So he had 155 from the tee for his first, 175 in for his second on a par 3. Don't know I'd ever seen anything like it before. We were dying, rolling on the ground, laughing. I felt kind of bad for the guy because I didn't know him, but honestly, it would have been worse if everyone was just quiet and like, oh my God. It was also like some crazy shit that you've never seen before. So it was, we had a time out there, but that one will stand out to me for forever and ever.
Always nice when you have longer for your second shot than your first.
From a buried Bermuda lie. It was like the alternate shot format modified, so his partner did not go back into the Bermuda and hit whatever he had from back there. His partner was on the green.
What if they were stroking? He could have still hearted it out for a 3
It's
for
possible.
2.
I think more or less he just wanted to get the hell off the tee box and have everyone forget that it happened, which we were on our way to forgetting pretty much everything, so that was good news for him, but I do recall that. And I've never seen 155 first on a par 3, 175 second on a par 3.
Well, I'll tell you, I forgot to tell you this earlier on Sirius XM. So one year at the Players, I was not playing with him, but the 6th hole used to have a tree that overhung the tee.
Yes.
And you had to flight it.
Yeah, you had to send it down.
You had to
that
flight
one.
it. There was no doubt. Short par 4, but that tree's gone now. But back then, Tommy Armour got a little steep on one. Tommy Armour third, hits the tree, goes 20 yards behind him off the tee.
He has to probably go play that. I think the member gets
you're not
like,
picking
shut
that
up,
one
I'm
up.
getting in the cart. We'll figure it out.
It was awesome. Well, I tell you what, Sleaze, our guest this week doesn't know much about hitting shots like that
Not right now.
because he is a 3-time PGA Tour winner now, a former guest of Golf Subpar. He is back for more. Max Homa joins us.
Yeah, had to bring him back. Had to bring him back after the dub. Get with Max while we can. He is. You and I are both on the same page here with Max. I think he is poised for a monster. We said this before he won, and now it looks even better. But I think he's poised for a monstrous year. President's Cup, that type of stuff, Tour Championship, all that. Contend in majors. That's been kind of his one thing where he hasn't really, played as well as he would have liked to. But can't be higher on Max Homa right now. And he's just. Everyone loves him.
Oh, he's just so much fun to talk to.
He's so positive.
And former podcast host, which we will get into
Correct, which
later.
is discussed. He just set that career aside, and now he's just concentrating on golf.
Which probably does pay a little better.
Got to give that shit up, concentrate on golf. That's what he did.
I like it. All right, well, before we get to Max Homa, we got to tell you a little bit about Rockform, the best golf speaker on the planet. You and I use it every single round we play. This thing's unbelievable. Stick it right there on the side of your golf cart. The magnet is so strong, it's not going to go anywhere, no matter what kind of shit you run over out there. But also, my favorite part, Sleaze, the battery life. 24 hours of battery life. So depending on how fast you play, could be 5, maybe 6 rounds of golf without having to do any charging.
I used it the entire weekend. I was rock formed up at the AZCC. Had it on the entire time. 3 matches the first day, 2 the second, then the shootout. Never turned it off one time. 0 battery issues the whole time. It's the best. And I forgot to charge it, left it in the bag. I didn't even turn it off. I was like, oh, it might be dead. I left it on the entire night. Turned itself off. It was live again the next day. Also, on top of that, if you run into a place where you don't have good reception, there's an optional micro SD card. Stores up to 5,000 songs. So you can still play music if you're out somewhere in the boondocks. You don't have any service. No sweat. Load up your jams on that. You can still fire at it. But this thing, there's no runner-up. This thing is just the best.
And it's transfusion proof.
Which is
spill a little transfusion on it? No
nice,
problem.
Which is a nice feature.
The music keeps going, but make sure you go get you a Rockform speaker. We love them. We swear by them. You got to go get them. Go to rockform.com, enter code SUBPAR for 25% off. Once again, that's Rockform, ROKFORM.com. Enter code SUBPAR for 25% off.
Also, bonus ball, quickly, we're giving away 2 rock forms right now. Birdie Juice rock forms, mind you. Custom jobs there with the bird on there. You can never lose this thing. It's the best. We're giving away 2 of those, so keep your eyes on our social media. We'll be telling you how you can have a chance to win one of those.
Make sure you go follow Golf Subpar on Instagram, Twitter, all that, at Colt Knost, at The Sleazy Man. We'll be letting you know how you can get your hands on one of these very exclusive Birdie Juice rock forms because they're even better than the originals just because they got our little bird on them.
Exactly, dude. Custom job, custom paint job, ice cream paint job.
All right, here he is, Max Homa on Golf Subpar.
Okay, we got a fan favorite in the house today. Just picked up his 3rd win at the Fortinet Championship. Probably soon to be PIP winner. And Colt, if you look at the FedEx Cup standings currently, guess how many above him?
0.
None.
Just
not
right
one.
out.
Max Homa in the building. What's up, baby?
You called me a fan favorite. I was waiting for you to just call me a fan, you guys.
We got a huge fan.
Yeah,
today.
big fan. But no, glad to be here. You guys are the best.
That's true, dude. Congratulations on all the success. It's been awesome to watch you play. 2 wins in 2021. It's been incredible. Obviously, the huge one up there at Genesis at Riviera, which we're going to get to. But I was looking back over your career, and you're currently number 31 in the world. Okay, 2017, you were 959. 2018, 843. 2019, 130. End of 2020, 100. So things are getting better. I mean, how good is Max Homa going to get?
Yeah, I gotta keep if I keep that trend up, I like where we're going. But yeah, it was kind of hard to get a lot lower for me at the 959 at that point. I was playing some pretty poor golf. But yeah, it's just I guess a testament to sticking to a plan, making a plan, and grinding. I've always liked to practice and work hard. I just needed to get on the right track and have been. And then the last year and maybe not even a year yet, I guess, Blackburn's just really helped me kind of improve that plan maybe, and things have just kind of been skyrocketing in the last 8 months or so.
Yeah, I mean, 100 in the world is great. I mean, but 31st, that's a whole nother level.
It's elite.
What did you
shit.
see as the biggest change to go from 100, to 31st in the world?
2 things. I mean, a lot of mental stuff, but really like the physical, I think precedes it a bit. I saw that what Marcus taught me, like truly that I'd never learned before is just a lot of wedge stuff. I'm sure you've worked with him on that before, and the numbers in which, like, how to flight it and then what your flight needs to be and spin and all that. And I've become I think like one of the better wedge players on tour. And I don't think I was ever bad, but I was never like elite from those distances inside 100, 120 yards. And then the second part of that plan was to become a better driver of the ball, and I've become a pretty accurate driver. I'm a slightly above average, but I'm hitting like maybe 2 more fairways a day, and then you add the wedges into that, and it's a good plan. I know it's different than like how DJ did it, as far as, he hits it 12 miles, and when his wedges are good, it's kind of dumb, right? But it's almost like my friends already call me Diet DJ, so it's like a Diet DJ version of that. But that's kind of what it's been. I mean, I can knock a couple more close inside 10 feet sometimes to gimme. Like at Fortinet, I hit a lot of wedges very, very close, and it just feels like you get a freebie here and there if the driver kind of is on. And for most of the season, I've driven it really, really well. So, yeah, when you get on a couple shorter golf courses, I just feel like that recipe has really like done good things for me.
You just hoop one. No
Just
big deal.
just don't even have to putt.
Blackburn
It's way
actually
easier.
said, quote, "You are now a wedge wizard," which is like his highest compliment he can give you with your wedge game.
It feels good. I mean, honestly, I remember the first time we went and worked on him. The next week was the Mayakoba, and it was the first time I'd gone to his. I just hired him like maybe a month prior at the Masters, and I went to Alabama, went to his little thing he's got down there, the studio, and we grinded him for like 2 days, and I really started to feel like I was kind of figuring out what he was talking about. And my Kobe, you have a lot of wedges in there if you can keep it out of the red line
Easy.
stuff.
Ask Lazy about it. Ask Lazy about
I know
that
you
place.
don't love
Don't
it.
bring that up.
Yours were yours were your third
what
shot.
What could have been, bro? What could have? I
But
didn't have Blackburn.
Yeah, you didn't have Blackburn. He's the cheat code. So I got on a really hot run there with the wedges on back into Saturday and into Sunday, and I just like kept stoning them, and I really saw what that could do for my golf game. So that's like the bulk of my practice now. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be a poor or below average like mid-iron player. That's kind of always been my jam. But I sit there with the launch monitors and just grind wedges all day, and then I'll go do the other stuff here and there. But that's just like how I practice now, and it's really fun because it's kind of competitive. You say, I'm gonna hit this 160, I'm gonna hit it 70, bring it to the tournament, and realize like you can just keep repeating it, and it's just like that. I mean, that's him, man. He put it in my head, and I've kind of taken the initiative to work on that the most because that's what I'm seeing is like the easiest way to kind of knock down scores.
Your golf swing is like a joke. Watching it, playing with you, watching it on TV, it looks perfect. But also, you've had like this mental kind of transformation that you had at the beginning of last year. How much would you say is it a combination of those two things, getting better like with all the physical stuff, and then also the mental side, or do you think the mental played just as big of a role as the physical?
I think it's so hard to quantify mental, and that's why I've always had a hard time with it because I see like the tangible evidence of like the wedges. Hey, like you're hitting it closer. The benefit I've had is because the physical has gotten good and the wedges have gotten better and the driving's gotten better is I can have maybe not so good mental weeks and still not get killed. I mean, I'll get 40th or whatever, but at least I'm not, kicking myself out of a golf tournament completely. But I did notice really that back end of the season, I've talked to Joe, my caddy, a lot about it. And, we didn't have this is our first 3 weeks off in a row in 2021 since about like Christmas. And I was going to skip the week after Riviera because I wasn't in. So I guess not skip was the wrong word, but I was going to not get into that WGC at concession, ended up getting in, and we had a decision to make. I didn't really want to go, honestly. But after talking to Lacey, Mark, and Joe, they're like, we got to go. I mean, we're on a good run. It's a big event, and went and played great. Got 21st there, and then got 10th, I think, at Bay Hill. So it sounded all good, and it was all gravy. But then that back end of the season, I was kind of gassed, and mentally my head was bad. I'm sure Joe wanted to kill me at times. I was just not in a good space, and you could see how that was affecting like the grand scheme of a golf tournament. So I wasn't like playing awful, but again, because the physical is getting so much better. But it really was pretty clear. We had 2 weeks off there because didn't make Tour Championship, got to refresh a little bit, and then came out to the Fortinet, and I felt like I was in a good mood, and I was excited. New season feels like you refresh a little bit and restart. So getting the head back in it definitely is what I think can catapult you like a higher, like to contention. But I do think deep down, the physical is like, that's always kind of gonna carry you a little bit at least. Because if you're playing good to start the first 9, it's like you're not gonna be pissed off right off the jump.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought your physical game is elite, and once you believe it, you're going to be a world beater. Now that you've won 3 times, do you believe you're one of the best in the world?
Yeah, I actually am starting to believe. I really did start to believe it too after the Genesis. Even it's still practice for me. I don't know what it is. I just deal with kind of lower self-esteem when it comes to golf, and I don't. I guess it's like kind of deep in a way, but like I wasn't a world beater in college until my senior year, so it caught late. So now all of a sudden I got catapulted in this category leaving college with like Justin Thomas. And to me, Justin, my whole time in college and even before he was in college, I mean, he was the dude, right? So I don't feel like I didn't really feel like I belonged there. I should have told myself I did, but I didn't. And then I kind of teeter off, and then it's just been a slow grind back. But after the Genesis, I really put it in perspective a little more and was like, dude, you just won a golf tournament. I played Saturday and part of Sunday with DJ, who was world number 1. When I won Wells Fargo, I played with Rory, who I think was world number 1. So I started trying to tell myself, and it's a huge testament to my wife, Lacey, Joe, and Mark, because that's their big thing. I let Mark in. I was like, hey, buddy, I struggle with this. And I mean, he just like wears me out and tries to tell me, just like you have, Colt, like he tries to tell me, hey man, like you're better than you're letting yourself tell you than you're telling yourself you are. So it's hard for me. That's definitely my biggest difficulty. I have to see the results, and I'm trying to start to do it without having to see the results. So that's helping a little bit.
Yeah, you brought it up, like the guys you beat, DJ, Rory, you played with Rahm in Napa. You beat Tony Finau in the playoff. Like, dude, you belong there. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, like, you're going to be putting the red, white, and blue on and playing at the Ryder Cup. Like, you could have easily been there at Whistling Straits a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think the cool part is as you start playing better, you get into groups with those guys, like just Thursday, Friday. I mean, I played with Rory and Corey Connors at Northern Trust the first 2 days, and I'm getting into groups where I'm playing with Rahm like a couple of times this year, and even just like people like other just like perennial top 30 players in the world, Kisner, and I practice a lot with Charlie Hoffman, who's obviously an amazing golfer, awful human, but
tough. It's not all
amazing
good.
human or amazing golfer. And so it's like you start to. It's almost like I hate bringing this up all the time because it is so different than professional golf. But in college, like when I was kind of the dude for a little bit, like you can look around a range and you're not even tripping about a single person out there. You know who you are, and when you get to the PGA Tour, I don't know what, it's just so hard to do that. Like you're looking around at these guys who you've either watched or you are, competing against, who just are kicking your ass. And you're like, how am I supposed to have that feeling again? But I'm getting the feeling where I play with the people and I'm not nearly as like overwhelmed with it. And that for me has been a big confidence boost to be able to just kind of feel like I'm the old me in a way, and being like, hey, yeah, you're really good. I'm really good. Like, let's go play, and that I don't know, for some reason I need to see those tangible things.
And you said something really cool after the Fortinet that I thought was awesome. You said, like, basically on Sunday I was looking at the leaderboard like I do, and in past I've thought, who's the guy to beat? And for the first time, or not for the first time, but you said this time I'm the guy to beat. Is that the first time you think you felt like that truly going into a Sunday, like, yo, I'm the best guy up here?
Yeah, it was cool. I never really like to say I'm like the best guy, but I did know at that point I had won the tournaments most recently. Rahm obviously had missed the cut, which helps.
That's nice.
I don't think I'm ever going to be, Rahm's up there, but I'm the dude, right?
Hey, those world ranking points are in there, though. He started the tournament.
I was very thankful he showed up. But, yeah, it was like one of those funny things. Like, I never do it, but I got off to I take a lot from what I've heard about Tiger on Sundays of like, just go play, plug along, and then put yourself in that spot. I've heard a lot about, Luke Donald said the most frustrating thing about playing with him at Medina when Tiger, I think, won the PGA, his second PGA there, was like, somebody asked him what the most impressive thing he did was, and he's like, nothing. He's like, I was the one trying to go out there and win, and he's just hitting the middle of the greens. And I did that for 5 holes. I hadn't holed a putt yet, but I was playing really well, and I finally hooped one on 6 for birdie. And Joe and I was playing with Scott Stallings, who's awesome. And they were kind of back behind me all of a sudden talking, and I kind of noticed I was by myself, and I'm walking back to the 7th tee, which is kind of like a long walk, like a 100-yard walk. And I remember getting a little spark with that birdie, and I was talking out loud to myself. I was like, I promise you everybody on this leaderboard is wondering what you're doing. Just because at that time I was the guy who had, like I said, had the most recent success. And for the first, I gave myself the chills because I was like, for the first time, I'm thinking that again. I'm thinking like, okay, and whether that's true or false didn't matter. It's like, I believed it. So I was like, okay, if I can keep plugging and get myself really close to Mav, because he was just like not backing down. But once I passed Leishman's name on the board, who had already finished, and it felt like it was just me and Mav, that's when it like clicked that, hey, okay, Maverick I think is a tremendous golfer. I think he's going to win a lot. I think he is somebody that could be on Ryder Cup teams. He's been great since birth basically, but he hasn't won yet. And I was kind of telling myself, you've won twice. You know what it takes to win a golf tournament. So how about we go be that guy and just keep plugging, kind of like how it happened at the Genesis.
Is that a different feeling, that back nine, the way you were talking to yourself, than you had at Riv back in February?
Yeah, it was really interesting. The one at Riv was wild. I've been fortunate to get close with Fred Couples, who is just a legend, and he's had some success at Riviera.
A little bit.
And on Friday, I think it was Friday morning or Friday afternoon, I think he texted me. He said something. He's like, "Hey," because I had played well on the West Coast, so prior to that, and he was like, there's one guy on this leaderboard that's been kind of playing some really consistent golf. He's like, it's you. So he's like, don't think you need to go out there and do something crazy. He's like, pick up a stroke of 9. He goes, I know Sam's out in front, but he's like, pick up a stroke of 9 and just keep being there. Like, stay around and see what happens. And I've taken that a lot. And to the Fortinet, I was like, just pick up a stroke, half a stroke in your head, like every few holes, and like keep plugging along and doing that. So it was like I felt like I had a plan, and it didn't feel too different than Riviera in that, but I did feel a lot more comfortable. And I felt like I said, like I felt like I had been there and I knew what the feelings were, and I was nervous, but I never really felt that nervous. And I just felt like I had this understanding of what I needed to do. The difference was I felt like at Riviera I played about the best round I've ever played in my life. And at the Fortinet, I felt like I was just playing golf, and that was the difference. I didn't think in my head, oh, you're on a heater, let's run with this heater. It was like, dude, you are playing good, just keep playing good. And I had played well on that back 9 the prior day, so I was like, okay, this is where, everybody catches their flow on a golf course, different spots, and mine hadn't been the first 4 or 5 holes, but it had been those last 9, and I just kind of stuck with that mental, that mindset.
Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend, 65-65. No big deal, but we mentioned 31 in the world. I think you now believe you can be one of the elites in the game. If you look at this U.S. Ryder Cup team, 8 of the top 10 were Americans. I feel like, the top 10 in the world is a big jump. What's it going to take for Max Homa to be a top 10 player in the world?
Yeah, we've looked at strokes gained stuff now. Mark did. He ran something with Mark. Yeah, he is a big golf nerd. I am too. That's the
he
problem.
said that actually.
Yeah, Joe makes fun of us all the time. How we're these big dorks, but I mean these dorks are doing all right. So, but yeah, we've looked at some of the numbers he presented to me. I think he ran it by Mark Brody, who fortunately has given us some info. And he, obviously a legend, invented the strokes game. But so I see some stuff. My short game's still not quite up to snuff. It's getting better, but really seeing I made a jump from like 15 to 25 feet this year on putting, but my inside 10 feet went down. So it's just like picking up little strokes there, and then just the slight consistency of like one more fairway day is going to give me one more wedge from the middle of the fairway a day, and that's where I've been pretty good. So it's just stuff like that. But it's hard, the higher you get up the world ranking, the smaller the margin is. So it's hard to make jumps. Mm-hmm. Everyone's really freaking good. I watched that Ryder Cup as both like a fan and someone who's like trying to sneak his way on in there. And you look at those 12 guys, and you're like, damn, like who's the guy you're gonna pass? Like that was a tall task. It's a very intimidating thing. But knowing that playing is what's gotten me jumping from 959, as you said, to 31. So that plan is just I'm gonna keep riding that plan until I do make that team.
Yeah, you mentioned those 12 guys. It's like, hey, you guys just want to draw straws to see who sits out? Like, yeah. I mean, it's a joke. You can put any of them out there.
You could do. I mean, Harris, English, Finau, Scheffler. I think those were the probably final 3 picks, unless I'm missing somebody. Berger. I mean, like, they're stallions, dude. Like, Scheffler goes out there and plays world number 1. Best player we've probably seen besides, like, or since DJ and Tiger. I mean, like, just he goes out there and kind of, Rahm didn't lose. Scheffler went out there, birdied 5 of the first 6 against the guy. And it's like, damn, I got to go past that guy. I got to go past, Harris and Finau and Berger. Like, these guys are amazing. But the thing is like, I like that challenge, I guess, and the goal would be to be an automatic pick and not have to make next captain, sit one of us out. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Obviously, making a Ryder Cup team is a huge goal of yours, but I know major championships are as well. And if you look at your record, I don't want to be negative or anything, but like this past year, you were playing some great golf and you missed the cut in 3 of the 4 majors. The Open Championship, I believe you finished tied for 40th. Is it something like, do you change your approach going into majors? Do you psych yourself out? What is it?
That's a great question, Colt. Well said.
Well said, Colt. I like that.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. I don't get it. I've missed both the cuts of the Masters by one, and I was coming in playing really well to both. U.S. Open, I played awful the first day, played well the second day, and then kind of just choked as hard as you can choke. Kiowa came in playing great. My caddy Joe did take a hiatus that week to play a.
Don't worry, that will get brought up when he sits down with us here
please.
shortly. Yes.
But it's like it has been really frustrating. But what was cool was the last major of the year, the Open Championship. Obviously it wasn't like in my little camp. It wasn't a mystery. I was frustrated, but I do feel like part of the. I had to drink so long I had to burp.
Get it out. Don't worry about that.
I was so frustrated, but in like an optimistic way, I guess. I knew the game was plenty fine to play majors. My game, honestly, ball striking wise, should tailor to major championships, so it was kind of silly. But I think I put way too much pressure on it because I hadn't had any success in them. And I think my previous best finish was like 68th or something place at the PGA at Bethpage. So it's like I was just kind of irking to like play better in them, and it's like, man, just go do the normal stuff you do. It's just a harder golf course. You don't need to over analyze, you don't need to over prep. And then the Open this year was it was the worst start you could imagine for somebody going through that thought process, but I hit it right on one. Got the worst lie I've seen on TV or in any practice round. Tried to hack it out. Went about 8 feet. I was trying to hack it to the fairway. Went like 8 feet into another bush. Hacked that one across the fairway. And I looked at Joe and I'm like, we are 8 minutes in. And I looked at him. I said, I'm going to cry. This is a nightmare. I was playing so good those first 3 days practicing. And I was like, oh my God, I make this like great double. Joe told me, looking back, he goes, you should have fist pumped the double bogey putt because it was a really good double. And I went like 20 something holes without a bogey. So like I settled myself. I didn't overanalyze. I didn't freak out. And I know 40th isn't great, but after that start for me, like the way my brain works, like it was a really good event. And I started to at least see like, hey buddy, you don't need to freak out that it's a major. You don't need to overdo it. Like just go act like it's another event. As far as the prep goes, obviously we all know it's bigger, but as far as the prep goes, do the same stuff you always been doing. Don't overwork yourself, and like let's just go out and play some golf.
It's easier said than done though until you get into a bunch of them and play a bunch of them. Like it's easy to say there's still golf, it's still me versus the golf course, but then you get out there and it feels different, just like anything else. Guys step on the first tee of the Ryder Cup and they're going crazy. They can barely get the ball on the tee. It's still golf, but I feel like you just have to go through it a bunch of times before you kind of start to play to your potential.
That's the silly part about like getting 40th. Again, 40th's nowhere near contention, but that was like a big, for me, like building block. Like I made that cut on Friday and I saw Mark right after and I was like, did it. Like, okay, check. One box done. And then get to go play. Even talking to Joe about it, like I was like, I just wanted to play 4 rounds in a major to keep practicing what major championship golf is and like feel the feeling. I know it's not quite the same, but feel the feeling of walking up on 18 on the final hole of a major and being like, okay, this is what it's going to feel like when we get there someday, when it does matter a lot more than it does now, and starting to like see it a little bit. But it's such like you said, it's so much easier said than done, but you have to do something at some point to like break down that wall. And I felt like, oddly enough, like a made cut was like I broke down a small piece of the wall.
When you could have been 4 over after 1, that's pretty good.
Really, I honestly thought I was going to make it 10,
Yeah.
so I was stoked.
By the way, have I not taught you anything? Our cocktail waitress, producer Mark, just brought us a round of drinks in here, and you didn't give him tip him at all.
I didn't. Well, Colt. I want to bring this
Venmo.
up. I'm starting to do this with the rookies, by the way. I'm teaching them something you taught me. Colt told me that. So when we eat, in dining, player dining, when we eat in player dining, we have these awesome free food for us, and like we got these waiters and waitresses that are so great, and you tip them either every day or throughout the week, right? And sometimes if I don't have cash all week because I probably lose on like Tuesday to somebody, probably Taylor Gooch or something. So I he told me, he's like, if you don't have cash, if somebody else tips and you're the last one at the table, just take their like little $10 and put it in front of your plate. Yeah. It doesn't mean that they get any less money, but it makes them think that it's yours.
It makes it look like they're the scumbag.
So my favorite story he's got is he convinced Bryson one time to tip $100. Yep. And then Bryson got up, he moved it in front of his chair. So I tried to tell the young
Great
bucks.
service. You guys are the
really
best.
nice. Yeah.
My name's Colt Knost, by the way. Bryson sucks.
It's great.
Hey, man, I wasn't that great at the game, but I can teach a lot of people.
Nice
a lot of
screen at
things.
9, dude.
It's genius.
Secret of the pros. That's good shit.
All right. Well, let's get some more.
Do you have
I wanna
$5
talk
by
to you
the way?
What's up?
Go ahead.
Tell me more about Joe, because you mentioned him. You're the best boss in the world. You gave him the week off to go pursue his career. But tell me more about Joe, because every time you play good or every time you win, you're always bringing up Joe. I think that's really cool about you. You're quick to give credit to other people. Tell us, just in your own words, like your relationship with Joe and why you think he's one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on forever, but I'll say, like, before you guys grill him, which you should.
It's happening.
I'll say this, and I've told him this since day one when we worked together in 2013. He will always be my friend before, like, this is like some employer type thing. I wanted him to go play that. That's what people don't understand. Like, Gary Woodland was giving him all kinds of shit, and it's funny. I laugh. It's funny. But I was like, man, I want Joe to go experience, like, he got to play a USGA golf tournament. They're awesome. And it's like, I wanted him to go do that. Could it have been a better week? Like, maybe we could say that, but I was happy he was there. I got to work with Bones, which is like the coolest opportunity ever. As a kid, I could never have dreamed of a cooler thing to do, play a major championship with Bones as my caddy. So like, that's my relationship with him. I want him to have the best life he could possibly have. And if that's working with me, that's great. If it's not, that's great too. Like, I really have no hard feelings to anything he decides to do. But I think that our relationship is rock solid because of how much I respect him and trust him. The dude is an amazing golfer. Like, you guys have both played with him. He's an amazing golfer, but he has insanely good golf feel when he doesn't have a club in his hand. I mean, the shot I made on 12 at the Fortinet for Eagle, like, I told him that week, I said, when the courses get firm, your like brain gets bigger or something. It would even pop out of maybe not. Closest thing is good. It could still fit. It'll rattle around. But at least it'd be like a skinny jeans, it'd be a tight fit.
It'd be tight. It'd be smart.
But like, he just like, we're talking about it, and like he'll ask me what do I think the lie is gonna do? Because it's hard if you don't get in there. I'm like, all right, it's gonna, I think it's gonna come out knuckly high, and I'm just giving him like the bare minimum I can give him, and he's like, I think it needs to land 84, and we got up there and it landed 83 yards and went right in the middle of the hole, and that's why I told Wood, like, I was like, dude, Joe's a genius. Like, I don't know how he does it. He's got the feel. I think that caddying so much from the outside looking in is like, oh, your caddy reads greens really well. And I'm like, yeah, but I think we all read greens really well. I think it's really hard. The harder part is managing the person and then managing the golf shots. And like, we play golf completely different. He hits it so short and like, kind of like, he doesn't hit a lot of shots. He hits his shot a lot. And for me, I work the ball a lot into the greens. And if the wind's off the left and I'm going to hit a draw 7-iron, he can tell me, hey, I think that's only going to go X amount of yards. It's going to go 5 shorter. And it's like, how do you do that when you don't play golf like this? And that's the stuff that Joe, it's like the intangible. I really feel like I have, at least a shot advantage every week. I have Joe on the bag just because I don't think that a lot of caddies have that in their head. They probably do some things better than Joe, but for me, what I need, it's like he's as good as it gets.
That's why he's got the course record at that course y'all grew up in.
He does, man.
Yeah,
the kid's got the wedges dialed.
Just spend a week until you get it.
Bro, I have tried.
Really? What is it?
It's 19 on a par 27. So he shot 8 under.
You're going to need a couple hoopies probably.
It's a tough, what's funny is, too, and he knows it is, my first time Lacey, my wife, came to my hometown, Valencia, she asked me, so it's not some nerdy thing. It's a little nerdy, but she asked me, hey, take me to the golf course you grew up at. And she's like, she always told me she's this great putter. She's awful. Awful putter. And the reason being is that day I go out there, we played 9 holes, and I hit it inside of 6 feet like 9 times. And I was like, by the 7th or 8th hole, I mean, I'm like, oh my God, I wasted a day because I let her putt all my putts for me so we could have this like cute date. That was my day. Oh. I wasted it not in a bad way. I ended up getting married to the woman,
and your wife,
and now it's awesome. So, but so we traded off. Joe gets the course record. I get my awesome wife.
You get a great wife. Yeah,
that's fair. But by the way, I'm going to ask Joe when we does sit down. I got a big member guest, April 7th to 10th. See if he maybe wants to.
Yeah, that's a good part. That's a dangerous partner, buddy. You got to keep him off the White Claws.
That's the week of the Masters as well.
So, that is the week. Yeah. Nope, he's out. He's out. I will promise you.
You were a friend first, bro. Let him have a good week.
Let
him have a week.
I'm not that good.
And I got one. It's in the U.S. Open.
No, I'm kidding. But with Joe still, say you're out of the picture, like something happens and he's got to go find a new bag. If he could pick anyone on the current PGA Tour, who would Joe pick? In your opinion.
If he's smart, he picked John Rahm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Who I think he would pick? Xander. I think they're
Yeah.
really good friends. Xander ain't getting rid of Kais anytime soon.
That's a pretty good gig too. Hey, hit it right up that.
Yeah.
See that stick?
Yeah,
Just move it
you
right
can
there.
literally make any 50-footer you look
Yeah.
at. So all he's got to do is put him on the green. I think he'd love to work with Xander. They're really, really close. Joe basically introduced me to Xander as like a friend, and he's been around him a lot. So I think they would be actually a really good team. But I think Xander's doing all right.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, doesn't Joe team up with Xander and play Phil and Charlie Hoffman out in California quite a bit?
He's taken so much off of Charlie with Xander that I think he would have finished like 120th on the FedEx
Does
Cup
Charlie
this
have
year.
anyone left to gamble with anymore?
No,
Xander shut him
yeah.
down. Griner's fleecing him. Who's he got left?
He just plays me basically on the road, which is pretty lucrative, I guess.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's also, by the way, the week you gave him off, which being the best boss in the world that you are, it's also pretty cool. Like, kudos to you, feather in your hat, that Bones would be willing to get on the. He's not going to caddy for anybody out there.
Dude, it felt really good to. Well, it was funny. The story is funny because the way it was presented to me was, hey, if I qualify for this 4-ball, it's during the week of the Charles Schwab, and I said, no worries, like I'll find somebody else. It's not a big deal. And then we found out that one of my best friends, Steven, was getting married that week, and Joe's pumping his fist, like hell yeah, I'm not missing anything. I was in the wedding, so I was like, I'm not going to play anyways. And then we're getting closer and closer, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from Joe, and he's like, hey, I fucked up. I did the dates wrong. It starts the weekend of the Charles Schwab, but it's during the week of the PGA. But don't worry, I got a caddy for you. Me and Scott hooked it up. Bones is going to caddy for you. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm getting an upgrade. Like, this ain't so bad. Yeah, you got anything else next week? But it was so cool that Bones would even do it. I mean, the guy is a legend, one of the best caddies that's ever carried a bag. I mean, he's got more majors than I could think of even like competing in, let alone winning. He's just a beast, and getting to experience that time with him was amazing. And the part Joe will never tell you, but the part that this will speak volumes about the guy and the friend Joe is Joe's first thing. I think when somebody was making the joke, Scott maybe texted him on the side and was like, hey, jokingly, you nervous? Mac's gonna take like Bones more than you, and he's like, no, I really hope that Max sees something Bones does that's better than what I do, and he could kind of tell me what it is, and we could get better. I'm like, dude, Joe is just like, he's just a legend,
confident man. Did you ever hit it in the trees?
We
with
definitely
Bones?
won't. Yeah.
You ever hit it in the trees with Bones? Like, hey, I think I'm just gonna punch out, and he was like, holy shit, are you serious? I love you. I've never heard that.
Well, the bummer was on our second hole, I had to lay up, or I didn't have to, I guess. If you look at Phil, I didn't have to lay up, but I decided to lay up, and I laid up right in the shit. So I think he was so not used to laying up that he didn't. Wait, what does this mean?
Dude? It's 310. If you hit a perfect hook right through by
This
the
is
leg,
driver
you
off
can get
the
it up
deck
there.
out of the
It'll be
rough. You
fine.
chop down
Worst
on
case,
it.
you just drop. And you just add one. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but no, he was great. It is really cool. I mean, even just like the prep with Bones was so different. Like, that's what I told Joe, is like, just the way he looks at holes was really interesting. Obviously being with Phil, it's a little more aggressive, but just the way he like talked it through and had I don't really ever care if anyone's right or wrong so much, but I like when somebody has like a thought that they've come up with. They're like, this is like the strategy I see, and it doesn't have to be right. I just appreciate like, hey, okay, you're looking out for like what we're gonna do over 72 holes to win the golf tournament.
Did you put any extra pressure on yourself knowing you had a legendary caddy like Bones on your side?
A little bit, honestly. And when I first started working, or the second time I worked with Joe, he had been working with Chappell for a while, and like I felt a lot of pressure. And I even told him that after a week or two, I was like, man, like you've now seen what like winning is on the PGA Tour. You've seen what top 10 or 20, whatever Kev got to in the world is. You've been in groups with DJ and Jason Day at the top of his game, like world number one golf is. And like I was like, man, like it's intimidating. And Bones is even 10x that, right? I mean, he's been with Phil, he's played with Tiger, like, so it was a little nerve-wracking, but he doesn't, like, Bones is such a good dude, he doesn't like let you feel like that, so it kind of washed away pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's about as nice as it.
I mean,
you could just lay sod over your first time. It's fine.
It's fine. You'll be
I've
fine.
seen Phil make 12.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah,
totally good.
he's seen it all, but he also like he just would never. He's not like a judgy guy, you know.
Subject change. Where do we stand on this PIP standings? I got a huge
That's a great
issue with
question.
this damn thing.
I do
There's no
too.
rules. There's no standings. No one knows. You're the guy that everyone thinks of. Golf, Twitter. You're the first name that comes to mind. What happens at the end of the year if they're like, okay, it's all done, we paid it out, and you don't have any direct deposit?
I would promise you, I'm not getting a direct deposit from this thing.
How do you know?
I am frustrated. I don't know, but I know. I am frustrated with the fact that there's no like list. This is such a
is
good
bullshit.
idea if there was like a presentation at least of who won. So I don't get it. I know for a fact I'm not winning because obviously Jim Herman's winning.
Yeah,
If Jim Herman doesn't win,
You're at least
a fraud.
top 5.
I'm at least I
You're not
definitely
Hermie,
am not.
but you're there.
If it was just social media, I'd be second to Herm, and then. But yeah, it's just not. It's just not. The whole thing was presented. The whole thing was presented because people don't read real well. That it's social media only, but it's like Q rating and all that stuff. So it's like I'm not. It's going to go to the 10 best players in the world, basically.
yeah, but
It's
why
horseshit.
are they not letting you know who wins? Like they announced that here's $40 million we got laying around. We're gonna give out to these guys, and then by the way, we're not gonna tell you who won.
Yeah.
Can they just give 40 to Tiger?
I mean,
That's basically what they're trying to
Here's
do.
my
And he
dog.
hasn't even
Should.
played this year, and
They
he's gonna win.
should. He's
here's my
giving
dog,
us all money.
Here's my kid.
Yeah.
Pay me $40 million.
Here's a new sport. What are the rules? Don't worry about it. Hey, how do we find out who wins? Don't worry, we'll let the guy who won know.
You won't know,
Okay, how
but-
does the world know? We don't ever release the score. Cool, sounds like a great game.
I'm
Sign
not
me
a
up.
huge fan of the execution of the thing. The idea is great. The execution, I'm not a big fan of.
What did you think though when they first announced it? Like, hey, here comes this new program. It's basically goes to the most popular people on social media. Were you like, oh boy,
Well,
Joe?
I read.
Shit's about to change, buddy boy.
We're about to retire. No, I really, like I said, I'm like pretty good at reading, so I read through how the thing's gonna work, and I had a feeling like this is gonna be fun for people like me and Hermie and Joel and Harry Higgs and all these guys to like use for like to have funny jokes on Twitter. But it's not. This wasn't for us, man, and it shouldn't be for us. It should be for the guys who's bringing in money for us. Like we're making it on the side. People just don't get it. Like I'm making more money in these golf tournaments because of the 10 guys who will get this PIP money.
I'd almost have less issue with if they said, hey, top 10 Americans at the end of the year, we're giving you money. You guys
Why
move the
Americans?
needle. Whatever, whoever.
Why's it got to be American?
I
Yeah, that was
I'd
kinda-
wanted
that
to
was
stay
weird.
in America, you know, stimulate the
Xenophobia.
economy, all that stuff.
Jeez, that was a
You
little
know?
aggressive.
Xenophobic.
Yeah, just but
So
like,
so tell me why you hate John Rahm.
where do I start?
Well, we definitely know he doesn't hate John
Where
Rahm.
do
We
we
do not. He
start?
does not hate John Rahm.
Well, here we go.
My God.
Jealousy. Bring
I
it
can't
out.
believe
Come
you
on,
played
guys.
with us the other day.
Come
We
on.
didn't even say
I
John
honestly
wasn't going to be in the
thought Rahm
group.
was joining us. That's the only
Okay,
reason
now
I
this
didn't
makes a
cancel
lot
on
more
you.
sense. That
And look
makes
what
a lot
happened,
more
bro. Got your mind right. Win.
You did, yeah, and we
Thought you
tied,
played
which
good
was
Tie.
Well, let's, we've had Justin Thomas on. He talks about after he wins, he treats himself to something nice. You've won twice in 2021. You treated yourself to anything nice?
has some Bud Lights.
That's very nice. It's
I didn't.
delicious,
It's my favorite thing. No, I didn't get anything nice. I had some really fun dinners with my friends. I really enjoy. I don't like a lot of things. I really enjoy like experiences with my buddies. So got to have some cool dinners. I'm flying home. I guess I'm treating myself. I'm flying home next week to Valencia. I haven't seen my mom or sister in a while, so I'm gonna go see them. But I'm going to a Dodger game. Stoked on that. I will say I got free tickets, but the trip is like my little gift to myself.
How'd you get the tickets? Who
Just
gave you those?
texted somebody I knew.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Are you going to pile on with Rom? Why don't you go ahead and drop that name?
I ain't gonna drop a name.
Oh, okay. Hey, you think the Lakers will be any good this year?
I mean, they got a lot of
cool team to
experience.
root for. They're
They
so
got a
fun
lot
to
of
root
experience.
for.
Like
Come
team-
on.
Lose and
Team
then
Europe,
buy
they
the
got a bunch
whole
of over
NBA.
40-year-old guys.
Come on,
Jesus.
they're gonna be great.
Yeah, it's
Melo's the man.
Yeah, Melo, Russell Westbrook's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Everyone's rooting for you.
Why don't y'all get MJ to come out of retirement, come play a little
He
bit?
could still probably
Luka,
get
what does he
20.
want? Come on over. Jesus, it's disgusting.
Oh wow, you mentioned a European. That was really kind of you.
Oh, wow. Let's just try to create a narrative here.
Well, let's get back to a couple of Americans because I want to know from the PGA Tour perspective.
Very
we saw-
pro-American
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. So
Goes to one
It's
Ryder
right
Cup.
after the Ryder Cup, dude. What do you want us
yeah,
to do?
we're still very patriotic.
Yeah, dude.
but obviously, the Brooks Bryson thing that's been going on all year. Now there's talks of them having a match in Vegas, but then they were hugging at the Ryder Cup. Is this thing real from y'all's perspective? Is it fake? Is this just a money grab? What do you think's going on?
I'm just as confused as everybody.
Yeah, perfect.
I really enjoyed it for sure in the beginning. I mean, this stuff was hilarious. I was playing with some guys at Memorial when the Brooksy thing. I don't know if I get fined for saying that, but when the Brooksy thing first began, and I mean, it was funny. Obviously, seeing him get harassed is not funny. But like just the whole like video that came out was like, man, these guys really are, at least Brooks is really like coming at this guy.
Yeah.
And it's just entertaining. I told the guys we were playing with, we all said like, at least it's not us. It's getting, you don't want to get like, the shit brought at you by Brooks. Like he has a big following. He's like, you know, kind of the tough guy on tour. Like he's an intimidating dude. So as long as it's not me, I was okay with it. I think it's getting a little bit. This week was good. I think it was getting a little like drawn out, and played out, just because none of us get it, I guess, or at least I don't get it. So like I was just like lost, and I don't like being lost.
And it's like, what do you expect to happen? They're not gonna fight on the range or anything. It's just gonna be this back and forth on
like
Twitter.
If they fought, I'm all in.
Out. There was never like a climax in the story. It was just like they started not liking each other. They publicized it, and then it kind of
like it would have been really good if like on Monday Brooks just restarted, like reignited it after the hug.
Well, I re-hate you.
I don't think they need to now, because you know this started back in May at the PGA. And, you know, there's these matches going on here and there. And now the rumor is they're going to be a part of one. And they're going to get 7 figures to go play. But no, I mean, now there's rumors of them going to Vegas, you know, in the end of November. They're going to be playing a match against each other and making 7 figures. So it's just like, hey, you know what? If we act like we hate each other, people are going to want us to play golf and pay us a lot of money.
I mean, if that's what they were doing, super respect to Bryson for then dealing with all of this. Because, you know, everybody knows, you know Brooks. Like, Brooks is like the cooler dude out there. He's got the whole Barstool family behind him, which is, you know, it's a rowdy crew. I've gotten to know him. Like, you get a lot of...
hopping on that train.
You get a lot of, like, love from it. And so all of a sudden Brooks is Bryson's under fire. But, yeah, I mean, if that was their ploy, it worked. It's an awesome, genius plan. So you can't knock the hustle. But like I said, if I had a little bit more clarity as to why they didn't like each other, I think I'd be all in. But I don't. No one knows.
What was the origin? What was the day one? Like everything's fine.
It all started back in the playoffs last year. Like there was a slow play thing.
But
is that it? Say it to my face. And Brooks goes up, says something, and that was the end of it. Then all of a sudden he walks behind him at the PGA.
That was great.
And Brooks freaked out.
That was awesome.
And now all of a sudden they hate each other. And
I was all in if Brooks's roll his eyes thing, that like famous video, if it was about like Bryson's metal spikes, because I hate metal spikes, and you could hear him like click clacking his way
right
through. If he just said, I hate that he wears metal spikes, I'd be like, this is a beef I can get behind.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I like never got, maybe it is, I just never got the clarity on it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll come to fruition here in this.
Maybe they'll fight.
Potential match.
Well, how about this match?
May not be brewing.
So this match that it's Bryson versus Brooks.
Potentially happening.
How exciting is this match going to be if they just play golf and don't talk to each other? Like, they got to do something.
Would it be that much worse than the corny jokes we hear during the match?
Good point.
I would do it. They say no words. Chuck's in the booth. You get in the booth. You guys just like start joining in with Chuck. I'd be in. Yeah,
that would be great. Because Brooks not a big talker anyways. I don't really expect him to just light up the mic up there. And we saw Bryson in the matchup in Montana, and he's not going to have Phil there to lead that whole charge.
Well, yeah, this could be. It could be better. Tell them they got the mics on. Turn them off.
That's exactly what I'm going to watch.
And then just watch Charles and you guys just banter.
If it does in fact happen.
If it does,
we'll see what happens.
Big if.
All right, should we get to the E9?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is going to be
the emergency 9, Max.
You know about this.
Please give me the name. I've been thinking of this since you asked me if I come on, and you're going to like my answer if you ask the normal one you ask.
We switched now.
Yeah, switching lives. I listen. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
All right, well, let's get to it. You can trade lives.
Ask something random.
This is going to make a laugh.
12 times 20.
Oh, God, I don't know what's about to happen.
69.
Berkeley.
You can trade lives with anyone, dead or alive. Be them for a day. Who's it going to be?
Doug McDermott.
That is well said. Dougie McDermott.
Me and Colt ran into him at a Hot Chick and then hung out with him for like a whole night. And it was so funny because I'm a huge fan of his and just all basketball. And we're sitting around and he said something to Colt, I think, about you tell a story. He said something about like trading lives.
And he's like, God, he goes, I'm so happy right now. Like I'm hanging out with Max Homa and Colt Knost. I'm just a golf nerd. I love it so much. He's like, I'd kill to change lives with you. I'm like, didn't you just sign with the Spurs? And he's
cool.
like,
yeah.
I was like, what'd you sign for? He's like, 3 years, 41 million. I was like, yeah, you don't want to trade lives with us, bud. Especially not me.
No, let's do it. Let's swap it out.
He goes, yeah, but 40's guaranteed.
Yeah, he's only 40's
I got to earn that extra one.
I like looked it up and I was like, Justin Thomas has made like 42 million. Like one of the best golfers in the whole world.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Yeah. Doug.
Not about all
Doug.
day.
Be a guest soon. He's supposed to be coming back to Scottsdale before the season starts.
I saw the picture, by the way. He looked like he's slimmed up. I could barely recognize him.
Dude, he's so tall.
I'm not a huge NBA guy. Like, I mean, I watch, but like people are taking pictures with him. I'm like, who the hell's that guy?
Yeah, and girls bought him drinks. That never happened.
Yeah, he sent me the text. It was like, Doug says hi. And I was like, Cool. Tell Dougie what's up. Who the fuck's Doug?
I'll be your Doug.
Now I love
He was
him.
our Doug.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
my Doug now.
A great
All right,
dude,
next
though.
one. I'm actually surprised this wasn't your answer, Max, because my next question is: you're basically a rapper now because you're hanging out with Mike Stud all the time. If you
It's
were
just Mike now,
It's
man.
just Mike.
Oh, it's just Mike. If you were a rapper, what would your stage name be?
Oh God.
Just Max? You guys go on
Just
tour?
Max, yeah. I need
I
to
know.
piggyback on somebody because my skills, they're just not it. So yeah, just Max would work. Max Dot would work.
Max Dot?
I don't think I'd have a whole lot of creative ideas. But see, I think if you're a rapper, you get a team around you. Lil Max, you just put a
yeah,
Lil
throw
in front
Lil,
of it.
yeah, or
your
Big,
line,
either
probably,
one.
Big Max.
Big Max, that's not bad.
Like-
Our bonus question
Lax
on this.
Max?
Lax
LAX?
Max.
Yeah.
Bonus
I'm all
question,
in.
since you're best pals. Do you know Mike Stud's real name?
Yeah, Mike Seander.
Okay, you do. Super fan. There you go.
I
Cannot believe you
I
didn't
was.
say-
I've been listening since like 09. I got it the whole
Yeah,
thing
he's
dialed.
in. He's all the way in. All right, you got it right.
He's awesome.
He
God, I
is
love that
awesome.
guy.
I saw him.
I like his stuff.
I saw him for Cody's birthday on Sunday, and he's just a legend.
Whatever you want to, yeah,
Things
whatever
go-
you want to
things
say
are going
about
well for
Rom,
him.
Things going all right.
send it back with just Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, you want
I
to?
brought the Chug Buzz for you guys. You guys got to bust them out at some point.
We
Try
will.
them.
Yeah,
See how
we'll.
it goes.
Yeah.
You guys seem like
Does it
you would
work for
enjoy them.
transfusion?
It works for anything you want.
Yeah, anything you put in there, it'll work.
Just string them faster.
But I mean, what a life he lives. I mean, you're an incredible singer. You make a lot of money. Girls kind of like you.
He's awful looking though.
I mean,
No, he
jeez.
doesn't have that. He's just
Out
not
of
built. He
shape.
doesn't have the build.
All right.
that chicks like.
Next one. Better victory celebration after your win: Genesis or Napa?
Probably Genesis. They were very similar.
Fly home, bevy.
Golf is such a bummer that like we finish tournaments on Sundays. There's not a
great
lot
point.
going. It is good living here. This is the only city that still turns it up on a Sunday.
Yep.
So it was still fun, but Genesis was cool, man. Like Graham held Bevy open for a while. All the boys were there, and it was a lot of beers.
It hurt. I had a really rough weekend before that, and then you win. I'm like, please tell me he's just going to Florida. Please just tell me you're Florida. You're like, hey, I'm going to Bevy. I'm like, fuck. All right, here we go.
We turned
Home
it
at
up.
midnight on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You can still go though.
We can still
did
go. That was a fun one. That was plus just like that tournament means everything to me. So I was already on cloud 9, and we were drinking a lot before we got there, and then just kept it going.
Smart move. All right, next one. You're a proud Cal Berkeley Bear. Earned your degree in
Covered the
consumer
spread against TCU.
behavior. Yeah, we suck. Don't bring that up. We're done.
Iron
I lost
skillet.
to this shitbag team too. I'm having a rough go. Dude. Don't pile on my frogs right now. All right. You earned your degree in consumer behavior. I would like you to please explain the most basic principle of consumer behavior to Colt and I, because we did not major in that.
Well, it's just sociology. So it's just an understanding of like how
How do consumers behave, would you say?
it just depends the time of year, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
you
of course.
study the market, you see what the consumers are, buying, what they're not buying. So it's just like a prediction thing.
That was much better than Gary's answer about sociology.
A lot of buzzwords there that he cracked open.
That's how
time
I
of year,
studied.
dude. That dictates everything.
What season is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're buying
Christmas,
coats
people
in
buy lots of
winter.
things. Yeah. All right, you got it.
All right. Well, on tour, you're a very popular guy. Got a lot of friends out there, but I feel like you're about to piss a few of them off. Okay, Thursday, Friday, you play in threesomes. You get to pick the two other players you're going to play with, but you have to play with them the entire season on Thursday and Friday. Who are those two players going to be?
Rory and Taylor Gooch.
Wow, Joel Damon.
Oh,
Beat
no,
it.
no. I was almost going to say not Joel Damon.
Not
Don't jump
Joel
ahead.
Damon.
Don't
Okay.
jump. We may be getting to Joel here momentarily.
Oh, good.
Not Joel is the answer. That's quite the group, Rory and Gooch.
Yeah, I honestly really get along with Rory. I mean, it's not like I have his number or anything, but like every time I play with him, I think we saw the interview this week at the Ryder Cup or last week at the Ryder Cup. I mean, he's a thoughtful dude. He's very nice. He is a normal guy put into a super mega star's body, and it's cool when you get to be around someone like that because they give you the time of day. He does not act bigger or better than you. Every time we play, we've talked for most of the round. I've had lunch with him. I mean, he's a cool dude. And then Taylor's my closest friend out there. Him and not Joel. But Taylor, I know his wife, and we're all friendly. We hung out throughout the week in Napa. He's a tremendous golfer, and a little, kind of cherry on top is they both play really fast.
Oh, that's good.
That's a big benefit.
Keep up with your walking.
Yeah, I'm slowing it down, dude. It is the
fastest
hardest
walker.
thing I've ever done.
If you and DJ ever play, when you guys play, are you just you meet them on the first tee and then it's just tee boxes?
See you later. What'd you shoot?
Yeah.
I will say it was odd is like at the Fortinet, we were like, I told Joe, I was like, I am going to walk slower this week. And I did a really good job and I played well. So I was like, maybe there's a secret to this.
Yeah, you go. You do go.
I got speed, baby.
I know,
I watched that Olympics, the fast walking. I got that.
I was literally about to say, I got an alternative career.
I got a shot.
Dude, I'll come out and watch you just walk the same pace I do. You'll be
I will.
Great.
I will. That'd be lovely. So I get to look in your little, like, whatever that contraption thing is where you get to see what's
walk with me and
going on.
Duff. We just chill.
I played with Duff like 9 times last year. Like you said, the DJ thing, we might as well not be in the same group.
Yeah, there's no
He doesn't
possible
talk
way.
either, so.
No, he's not going to just light you up. All right, we just talked about this, but there was a very nice moment at the Ryder Cup. Bryson and Brooks had an embrace. They squashed the beef down there, hugged it out. Do you ever foresee a situation where you and your most hated enemy, not Joel Damon, could come together and bury the hatchet? Because it's a deep rivalry.
Honestly, it's going to take both of us making the Ryder Cup and
That's
winning
it.
and winning by like a record amount to hug. It's going to be tough. It's a tough sell. I just can't. I can't foresee it now. Maybe something changes. Maybe he becomes nicer
He's
at
so
some point.
unlikable.
He's
It's
just
hard.
like, I mean, is he pretty friendly? Like, yeah, I mean,
Maybe
a little
funny.
bit. Yeah, like, is he? Sometimes, like, yeah, does he make me laugh? Like, is he fun to get a beer with? Like, yeah, pretty much every time. But like, is that what we're valuing in people now?
Exactly.
Nice,
fun,
funny,
caring.
I'm not so sure I am.
You gotta hate him, and then you might get $5 million to play in
you
Vegas
guys
one
should
day.
set something up.
You never know.
I just got to get somebody to call him Jolie.
Jolie.
We'll do it. We'll start that.
All right, number 7. You're a fellow podcaster, used to be. You recently stepped away from the Get a Grip podcast with Shane Bacon. Is it true the reason you stepped away is because y'all could never pass the For the People podcast?
Fuck that. I will.
That's the greatest answer.
I will admit to the subpar was, the rivalry was getting kind of dark, but I had to actually think about who ran the For the People for one moment, and that was not why I stepped away. No offense to John Peterson and JJ, but no, that was not it.
That wasn't it?
No.
I knew Sleaze would like
I
that
didn't know
one.
that was good. That wasn't the name I was expecting at the end of that question.
No, I respect anybody who's doing a podcast, but I will at least puff my chest out a little bit. Like, that was not the first podcast I was worried about, like, surpassing the stuff we talked about.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And thank you on behalf of Colt, thanks for hanging up the mic, dude. You got enough good shit going for you. Let us have something, bro. You know what I mean?
I don't have a face for podcasts. You guys have cameras in here at least. I didn't even get a
right
camera on me. It's just a voice. My voice
They
isn't that
were all
good.
on Shane.
Yeah, they should have been. Better
No
looking,
kidding.
better voice.
The voice
I was
is
like,
tough to
I'm
beat,
intimidated
too.
on my own podcast. That's not cool.
Yeah, no shit. It's
Probably
time to
how
hang
you
it up
feel,
at that
Sleaze.
point. All right, last one from me. Which other Max do you feel like you relate to the most? Maximus Decimus Meridius,
I'm not
Mad
real
Max, or Max E-Pad?
It's definitely Max E-Pad.
E-Pad.
Yeah, I'm not even sniffing the other two. The other two are badass, and mine, I just, I'm helpful.
You are. You provide a solution.
I
for
provide a
problem.
solution for a problem. I work hard. I'm durable, but I'm not
Always there in a bind.
I'm not a fighter
True.
at
All
all.
right. I thought
Fair
that's
enough.
why you might
Maxi
lean.
Pad.
Maxi
All right.
Pad.
Max
yeah.
E-Pad.
All right, last one. It's obviously very well known. You're a rather hairy individual.
Rather.
I've not heard
Majors
that.
mean a lot.
I've not heard that.
You've seen it though.
Yeah, that's true.
Majors mean a lot to you. Ryder Cup means a lot to you. Would you shave every hair on your body, including your eyebrows, eyelashes, to win a major and be on the next Ryder Cup team?
Fuck yeah. You just
God, how
the
incredible would you
difficulty would be is if you need to find me a razor that can do that
We're
kind
gonna
of work.
need a fucking chainsaw.
Well, you got to deal with Gillette. They
Yeah, I
can
gotta
send you a
do it
bunch.
good, but they purposely put me in the deodorant campaign and
We
not
gotta
the
have some like
shaving
diesel razor that can handle that.
Yeah, there's some
sparks and stuff.
I need like a prescription level razor.
Yeah.
You get like prescription level you get prescription level dandruff shampoo, you get prescription level deodorant. I need prescription level razors to accomplish that. But if you find me that, I would do that right now.
You pull it off.
we might as well
You pull
just
it
try
off.
it. See if it works.
If you can't tell me it's 50-50, I'll give it a shot.
April 1st, April 2nd, a week before the Masters, just
What about
nair
next time
your
you
whole
win?
body.
What about next time you win? You come on in and we do a Maxie Waxy, like Steve Carell, like Kelly Clarkson.
Talk about a rap name,
Bro,
Maxie Waxy.
You want to win the PIP? That wouldn't hurt.
All in. That would
not
get the
hurt.
people going for
Rip
sure.
that nip right off of there.
Oh boy, that's a tough area for me.
Oh, boy.
Sensitive.
God, what?
All right, do we have to quit?
That's,
Shit.
I know. It's really sad.
What do you want to hang
I
out
gotta have
later?
a beer left.
Keep going.
Awesome. Max Homa, part 2. It's been a blast, dude.
Love you
We
guys.
love you.
You guys are the best. Love you.
Thank you. All right. Well, that was our man Max Homa joining us on Golf Subpar, our second episode with him. He's now a 3-time PGA Tour winner, won a huge one. Obviously, the Genesis Invitational up there, Tiger Woods golf tournament, Riviera, his home golf, his favorite golf course growing up. Dude, I'm so pumped for this guy. I mean, we both believe in him so much, and now it seems like Max Homa is finally starting to believe in Max Homa.
That's the crazy thing is like for a long time we go play with him and he'd go out and finish whatever. We're like, dude, what is like? You look perfect. Golf swing looks perfect. You hit it nice. You putt it nice. Like what's the deal? I think it was just a matter of self-belief. And now that he's picked off a few of these things too in the last year, that's the hardest part I think for him is like him believing, that he's one of the top players in the world, which he is, and like that's it. I expect huge things from him going forward this year, especially just to get another one this quickly in the season. It's like, all right, I already checked that box. I'm sure his goals in the year was like win again. Well, he already did that. Now he can just kind of it's like free roll, and I think it just frees him up, and I think he's truly starting to believe that like I belong amongst the best in the world.
I think if you just sent a random golf fan out there and just said, here's 10 guys watching hit balls, where should this guy rank? And he would definitely be up there at the top of your list. It's just beautiful. He does everything well. He's starting to tighten up that short game a little bit with Mark Blackburn, which I think will be a huge
Hold some
huge
big
help.
putts down the stretch in Napa.
Yeah, but we talked about it. I mean, 5 years ago, he was ranked outside the top 900 in the world, and every single year he has gotten better to where now he's, number 31 in the world as of a week or so ago. I just think that it's interesting to see if he can get to that next threshold because, top 30 in the world is fantastic. Top 10, it's a whole nother level. And I know he has the desire and the drive to get there. It'll be interesting to see if he can make that next jump.
It's crazy to think, and we didn't talk about it in this one because he's talked about it ad nauseum. We talked about it in our first podcast, but not too long ago was there a time where he had to go make 4 birdies coming in down the stretch at Portland just to keep his Korn Ferry Tour card, just to not have to go back to Q school. And it's like to think how his life has changed from that point to now. Like, it's crazy, but the talent's always been there. And now I think Max Homa's finally starting to believe that. And we talked about the PIP program. I don't know how this thing works.
I hate it.
A shit program in my opinion. You got to tell people, you can't have contests and don't tell people the rules or who wins. I feel like that's pretty gonna raise some eyebrows and ask some questions. But if he ain't getting some sort of direct deposit, I'm not saying he's Tiger. I think this is just a ploy to give Tiger and some of these top guys a bunch of money so they don't leave. But if Max ain't participating in that thing, then what are we really doing? And we'll be the first to break it whenever they pay this thing out. I'm gonna call Max, like, tell me, did you get something? I don't even know what place. I don't even know if people know what place they got. But we need some sort of clarity because he is he's the driver behind all this.
He's one of the most engaging guys out there on the PGA Tour. I know he's not, a Tiger Woods or a Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, but I mean, my God, if we're here, it's player impact program and you want to drive it through social media, he should be getting some people. I mean, they're paying out 10 guys. He should get something.
100%. If he doesn't, the whole thing is garbage because he drove this whole thing. He's the first guy. All the swing roasting, which by the way had to take shitloads of time. Like everyone said, "Hey Max, roast me." He had to do that over and over again, but he did it, and he became huge on social media, and he's pretty much a reason why a lot of these guys are starting to lean into it more.
By the way, do you like the little advice I gave him early on in his career? When you're sitting at lunch with a group of guys, maybe you don't have enough cash, or maybe you just don't want to use it. Some guy leaves it out there. You wait on him to leave. Just slide it on.
You got to go? Yeah, just a tip, dude. I'll take care of it. Here you go, sweetheart. Thank you so much. That's a honey bun. My name's Colt Knost, by the way. Max sucks. He did not tip you.
The time that Max brought it up, it was at the 3 a.m. up in Minnesota. It was early in the morning, and Bryson sat with me, and we were going back and forth, and he's like, all I got's 100. I was like, dude, you're rich. Just throw the 100 down there. These people are nice. He goes, you know what? You're right. He threw it down and got up, left, and slid right over. How you guys?
There you go. You know what? I'm going to take care of you. Remember this name, Colt Knost. We're going to ask you at the end of the week. Who took the best care of you? I got you.
That's right.
Bryson guy, man.
Well, you know who takes the best care of you, Sleaze? FanDuel.
Without question.
The number one sports book in all the land, FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you want to add a little excitement to your golf watching experience, go to FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's number one sportsbook. First off, Sleaze, the app, very simple to use. They got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boost on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get your winnings in less than 24 hours.
Fast pay, fast friends. That's what I always say. You can do whatever you want on FanDuel. They got a huge range of betting options, player props, futures, whatever you're looking for. FanDuel's got it. Live betting, which I'm very keen on. You miss the tip, you miss the kickoff, you miss whatever. See something you like, you can go ahead and get in there and get a little action going. And the best thing, the odds boost. Like, they'll give you these crazy odd boosts where you can make a lot more money. The line's totally skewed one way, and you have a chance to make a grizz in one single bet. Love those. Jumping on those heavy.
We had a subpar boost last week at the Sanderson Farm. Sergio let us down, shot 4 under, missed the cut by a shot. Would have paid a little plus 140, but I'm sure we'll have another one this week. If not this week, very, very soon. But I love those boost bets. I believe, mentioning the same game parlay, which is all of that, you're getting amongst it when you do the same game parlay. I believe our producer Mark hit a rather nice one.
PM hit a monster this week. Yeah, it was a crazy parlay. What'd you do?
A little 7-teamer with some live college football action in there. 20 to pay out $3,200.
Hello, friends.
Hello, sweetheart. I can't win frickin' 1 second half bet. Mark's hitting 7-leg parlays.
All right.
The world coming to?
Well, right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just place a bet on any game or golfer, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back if you don't win your first bet. Seriously, there's no strings attached. Just place any bet you want. If you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, you'll get the entire bet up to $1,000 back in site credit. All right, Sleaze, it's now time for the ultimate gambler. We're heading to Vegas.
That's
the
place.
Shriners open. Shriners Hospital open for children up in Las Vegas. TPC Summerlin. Great golf tournament up there, but this is where... Okay, we got to get our priorities straight. We here for golf or we here for fun?
That weighed heavily into my picks, by the way.
Did it really?
Yes. Of course, yes.
All right.
Need a guy that's laser focused up there.
They go low in Las Vegas. This tournament, I mean, if you're not making birdies, just head on down the road because it's going to be over for you quickly. And for me, I'm going to go with a guy as my favorite who I think is very, very motivated here, Sleaze. You know, he thought he should have been on the Ryder Cup team. He's a past champion here in Vegas. He lives in Vegas. He puts the absolute eyes out of it, and he's 25-1. Kevin Na.
Yeah, he checks the boxes. That he ain't gonna get distracted by the strip. Lives there.
He lives
Been there, done that. That's good. That's a vital, vital statistic that no bookie, no odds maker can give you. How focused are you when you land in Vegas? He's a good one right there. He checks all the boxes. I'm going on the same side of that. Another guy, very close to making the Ryder Cup team, did not make it. One of the best putters on the planet, and also, by the way, has had just a monstrous career at this golf tournament. Also will not be distracted by the strip. Webb Simpson, 25-1 on Weber.
Yeah, I was surprised with those odds. I know he hasn't been playing Webb Simpson-like golf, been dealing with some injuries, but he prints money around TPC Summerlin, so that's a great pick.
Got to roll it. He rolls it. Both those guys roll it.
And another guy that won't be distracted.
No, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
You got to have a
Genius.
guy tucked in, 10 o'clock, lights out. Let's go.
All right, well, I don't know how my dark horse is going to go as far as that comes, if he's going to be down there on the strip getting amongst it. But I love this guy's game. I think he's going to win at some point. He's got a lot of firepower. Seems to be up there quite a bit. Has a lot of high finishes, and you never know when this first win could be coming. But why not in Las Vegas? Let's roll the dice with Taylor Gooch at 66-1.
The Gooch man. No one would be more in favor of a win for the Gooch.
Also one of Max's favorite guys to be paired
close
with.
Friend, very, very common guy that is brought up on favorite players on the PGA Tour, the Gooch man. All right, I like that. Taylor Gooch as the long shot. I'm going to go with a guy here, tee to green, been awesome. Putter, streaky, but it can get crazy hot when he does go. I'm going to go Russell Henley at 60-1, just a guy that he's going to give himself a lot of opportunities if he can catch a week with that wand like he has in years past where he can just go weird low. I think Russell Henley's a nice little piece at 60-1.
You know what I've learned since doing this with you for a few years?
I picked the same
You really
guys.
like Corey Connors and Russell Henley.
I do, bro. Corey this week, dude, he jumped out to the final round lead on the early stretch on the Sunday. I was like, here we go. This is going to be the one. And then didn't have a whole lot of success. I got a 17th out of the guy. But I'll try to pick him again later on in the year.
Of course
and see
you
if
will.
you don't remember.
All right. Well, if you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Go to FanDuel.com/subpar or download the FanDuel Sports app to get started. Be sure to sign up with promo code SUBPAR so they know that we sent you. Must be 21 years old and present in Arizona or New Jersey. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER. Or call 1-800-NEXTSTEP or text NEXTSTEP to 53342. All right, Sleaze, before we wrap up here, it's Shriners Week. I got to tell you a little story. I had a little bit of a minor disaster at the Shriners one year. So, I go out there. I'm early Friday morning. It's windy. It's chilly, actually, in Vegas. Go out. I birdie the 9th hole, my last hole, to what I thought was make the cut. let's just say it was like 4 under, right? Go back to Aria, where I'm staying, take a little nap. Everything's good. Wake up. I believe I was in like 47th when I finished. So it shouldn't be a problem, you know. There's only 132 guys in the field because of daylight.
You're safe, yeah.
It should be safe. Wake up. Well, all of a sudden the sun is shining, the wind is down, and they are just ripping apart TPC Summerlin. All of a sudden it gets time to be, it's darkness sets in. They have to blow the horn. I'm T71.
Nice.
Dead.
Perfect.
Dead. Might have been T72. But there was 2 groups that had to finish up the next morning, and they were on the cut line. I'm currently out. They're finishing on number 9. It's a par 5. I'm
Dirt
dead.
nap.
There's nothing happening.
Pack the bags.
So what do? I begin to get amongst it. Myself, Jason Duffner, who had a 2-bedroom at Aria. He stayed in
Dude
the other
wipes
room.
for days. That's nice.
Tons of dude wipes. We run into one of your favorite Denver Broncos of all time, Demaryius Thomas. So we start playing blackjack with him, having cocktails, end up going to the nightclub. Maybe a few of them. I had about 12 nightclub stamps down my arm the next day. Thought I'd missed the cut. Well, about 9 a.m., here comes Duff into my room, slapping me on the face, saying, "Hey, bud, you need to wake up." I'm like, "What are you talking about? We just went to bed like 2 hours ago. Go away." He goes, "You're on the tee in 2 hours." I said, "No way." He pulls up his phone, looks. We had 2 bogeys out of those last 6. I am now on the cut, or I end up making the cut, have to head out to TPC Summerlin, not in the best of form. I get paired with Webb Simpson and Ryan Moore, going off one of the last groups off number
Webb probably
10.
did the same thing, dude.
Dude,
He was probably at a different club.
I was a mess. It was one of the worst days of my life on the PGA Tour / entertaining. I walked onto the range, my caddy John Davenport, I just looked at him and go, "I'm sorry, dude. This is not going to be well." Parred the first 3 holes.
Good start.
Got off to an okay start, and then I think I duffed a lob wedge going for the par 5 and 13, and for my 3rd shot, made 6, and it was all downhill from that. Shot 78, proceeded to MDF and get Sunday off to recover a little bit.
Could have made more in the casinos.
Dude, my ears were like still ringing from the nightclub. It was just brutal. Golf, I'll never forget the 10th
You just
hole.
hear Little John in your ear the entire time.
The 10th hole at Summerlin is literally, for me, it's like a driver and a wedge. Most guys hit 3-wood or 2-iron and wedge. I hit driver 6-iron into it to start the day.
It's like, I don't know, dude. They don't have any sprinklers back here.
All right.
Just
Well,
feel it out.
I hope that doesn't happen to any of the guys this week up in Vegas. Wish everyone the best of luck. Make sure you go to FanDuel. Place your bets, win some money. Also, be on the lookout. We got the Birdie Juice Rock Form speakers. These things are awesome, and we're going to give away 2 to a couple of lucky fans of ours. All right, everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.